All right, welcome back to another episode of the Bold American Podcast presented by Barstool Sports. We got basically two topics that we're going to hit today. We are obviously going to talk about everything that has gone on in Minnesota the last few days and for the better part of a month at this point, and even as much as today, there were significant updates that we can discuss. And then we have a really interesting interview that Rob did with Kyle Eberly. And if I'm mispronouncing that, I'm sorry, Kyle. I did not get a chance to ask you how to pronounce your name, and that is a pet peeve of mine. So I apologize if I am mispronouncing your name. But Kyle is the founder of sitreps2steercos, which you might have seen it on social media as like a meme page, but he actually runs a very, very efficient and effective transitioning program where he helps veterans transition from the military active duty to the civilian world, finding them very well paying jobs in incredibly important sectors of the civilian world. So really cool guy that I think he kind of just started doing it out of the goodness of his heart, and it really snowballed and more from there. So really interesting conversation that he had with Rob. And all of that is going to be brought to you by our pals at BlueChew. Fellas, you already know what time it is. It's time to level up, and BlueChew just dropped something crazy. I'm talking next level championship belt, gold-plated energy. BlueChew Gold is the newest innovation from the #1 chewable ED brand. Grandpa's little blue pill. This is the 4-in-1 beast that's setting the gold standard for performance. We're talking 2 ingredients for blood flow to keep that rocket pumping, mixed with apomorphine and oxytocin, to turn up the arousal and connection in your brain and body. BlueChew Gold dissolves under your tongue and works in as little as 15 minutes. That means you can get it on quicker and stay in the game longer. Elevation without hesitation. This is peak passion and peak performance in a single tablet. If your bed could talk after this, it'd be asking for a break. So make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. You can get 10% off your first month of BlueChew Gold with code BOLD. That's promo code BOLD. Visit BlueChew.com for more details, important safety information, and we thank BlueChew for sponsoring the podcast.
Ooh, there we go.
All right. Before we get into everything Minnesota, Minneapolis, last 72, let's start there. Rob, last 72, buddy.
What's up?
Because I think you've probably had a very different last 72 than Ryan and I have.
It's like 65 and sunny out right now. It was birthday weekend for me.
Oh yeah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Appreciate y'all. Yeah, thanks for the love. Super chill. Kicked out my favorite casino to win here in Vegas. Did some family time. But you know what was really amazing about the last 72 was that Netflix free solo climb guy.
Yes.
Did you guys check that shit out?
Oh my God. I watched it after. I did not watch it live. I watched it yesterday. And I still thought he was going to fall off the whole time.
Me too.
I couldn't have watched it live. I don't think I could have.
I watched it live.
I
got to tell you, this is going to sound like I'm a hater.
It was a little anticlimactic, right? It was
very anticlimactic because it was so easy for him.
Yes.
And I read a bunch of different climbers talking about the likelihood that he would have fallen was less than 1%. That's how confident he was in his ability to do this climb. And I even said it to Alex before we started watching. I was like, this is really different from when he free soloed El Capitan because, granted, steel and glass don't have the same friction that rock does, but it's all predictable all the way up.
Yeah.
So, people were saying there's a lot of climbers that could have made that climb. Not as many probably without ropes and to do it free, but he made that look so incredibly easy. And I mean, that's a testament to him and how talented he is. He's arguably, I think people say, the best to ever free solo climb to ever exist on this planet that we're aware of. So it was still impressive, but even people were saying, very experienced climbers said even him on El Capitan, the chances of him falling were incredibly low. I was more impressed with the fact that there was just a ton of people watching, and then every floor. There were like people waving at him. They put his
Pokemon
wife
in the
on
windows.
like the 60th floor.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was incredibly impressive, but he made it look easy.
So here's what I have to say to that. And I was like analyzing this with one of my friends after I watched it. Okay. First of all, he admitted, he was like, I got paid a ridiculous amount of money by Netflix.
Yeah, he got $500,000.
Yeah.
Uh,
But
I think that's super low. I think he kind of fumbled.
I actually think that's low for him to. Yeah,
that's what everybody was saying. He should have got more.
He said a ridiculous amount. I actually didn't know it was $500,000. I think he should have got more too. But what makes me like, you think about all these like thrill seekers, people like this, like obviously it did look so easy. So like what comes next, right? And I was talking with my friend. I'm like, eventually something is going to be maybe unachievable for him, but he's going to try it, like these daredevils, like it makes me nervous that I don't even want to say what I said, but like, I don't know.
Eiffel Tower. Like what do you think he could do next?
I think Eiffel Tower would probably actually be pretty easy for him.
He needs like a sponsor or two on him. If he's only making $500,000 from that, and people are like, yeah, well, if he negotiated that, that's on him. Like it's not anyone's fault but his.
He doesn't. I mean, and if you watch the Free Solo documentary, he doesn't seem like the type of guy that cares about money.
I don't think he's driven by money. Yeah, I think But the other thing that was really kind of crazy was just watching his wife, and she just seemed so calm.
She did.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like she just seemed so calm, So the whole thing, I mean, that what he accomplished was so much more mental than physical. I mean, it just was.
That's the other thing. People were saying, and I kept reading about how the part of our brain that makes you afraid,
he doesn't have that.
Yeah.
Either he doesn't have it or it's like super low, the levels at which are unknown to most people. So the parts of that climb that would make the average person completely poop their pants, it's like nothing to him.
Yeah.
And evident by the fact that he was just having a great time, waving at people, and seemed unaffected.
Every sector, like every 5 minutes, he'd like stand up, dust himself off, and just go like, hi.
Yeah.
It was almost like he could have done it faster. And they're like, dude, we need you to make it about 90 minutes. So like, don't go too fast.
He had his one AirPod in, listening.
Yeah.
He was listening to Tool.
Oh, a Tool. Yeah. And then he knocked it out in like 90 minutes?
Yes.
It was like a perfect broadcast hack. It was just like, I was like, he'll probably take 2 hours. My wife was like an hour. And then it was like right in the middle, like perfectly timed.
Yeah.
It was impressive.
It was good.
Still impressive.
Good. Yeah.
So.
Damn, Ryan, needed some coffee? You good?
Sorry. I'm good. Awesome.
Rob, that's all you got?
That's all I got, guys. Yeah. And then super chill. One of those birthdays. I mean, it's 36. It's fucking like just another day. You know what I mean?
I mean, if you're going to do anything, and I say this as someone who did it myself, I feel like the next one that you could actually like do something would be 40.
40. Yeah. What'd you do? What'd you do for 40? That was recent, right?
I had a party at my house. It was probably like 120 people, and very lucky with the weather. It was outside. I had one of the most fun bands from down the shore, the North Jersey shore. So Ryan, you probably don't know them. I don't think they come down to your way, but the Pat Roddy band.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
So we had them in the backyard.
Oh, that's sick. So you had like the way I would do it, I'd pay like a DJ, but you paid like a legit band to just come out and riff. That's cool.
Yes, it was a lot of fun. We sent at Maggie at that point was, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ish, almost a year and a half. Yeah, we sent her to a hotel, so we didn't have to worry about anything. We sent her to a hotel in town with my mom, so we were able to kind of like really enjoy ourselves, and it was just a really fun time. So.
How was cleanup after that? Because when we've always had bangers at our house, I like for the really big party we did one year for Halloween, I paid a maid just to come by and clean up the house after. Did you guys just pick it all up after, or do you just wait?
So we had a woman who was kind of a do-it-all. She was the bartender, but then she would like periodically go around the backyard and the patio and just kind of like pick things up. And we had a bunch of garbage cans all over the place. So people were pretty respectful, and even people going in the house like that. It really, for 120 people, it really wasn't that messy.
Nice.
So it was very doable and very, very enjoyable and something that I will
Not,
remember for a long time.
not like 15 toddlers, just
No, there was definitely no kids. No kids allowed.
All
that's
adults.
that's
Mhm.
awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah, that's how the 40 for sure. You know, and it's my
You got to
birthday.
go big for your 40th for sure.
I know people who've done like big trips with friends. So there's a lot of, a party's not necessarily the only thing you can do. I think there's a lot that you could do and have a good time.
I rented a big boat with 100 people.
So
Oh,
there you
nice.
go. Booze.
Yeah, I did a booze cruise.
That's birthday week, right? Like birthday
Yeah.
week coming up. Do you have any plans?
No, that was my 40th birthday.
Yeah, that was just
40th.
that was just one of the events on the 40th
That was
birthday.
one of the days.
No,
I
I
love it.
rented.
There was a
I
lot of
rented
other events.
the Miss Avalon. It was actually called the boat.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So,
I want to come out for birthday week. Maybe when is it? It's August, right?
yeah, August 2nd.
Maybe this year. Maybe I'll just whiz out or something. I don't know.
Let's do it.
That could be fun. Instead of maybe Puerto Rico, maybe we just do birthday week.
That's even better. Yeah.
Could work.
Yeah.
Ryan, last 72.
Last 72. Well, last time I talked to you guys, I was in Puerto Rico. Had an incredible week there. This is my 7th year that I've been there, and I'll tell you, like, there was something like really magical about the group that I was with this year. I can't like put my finger on it, but it was awesome. We did some really good work for the local community there. We, fixed roofs, floors, painted houses. It was awesome, but just like something special about the group. And then hopped on a plane. I got the first flight out of Puerto Rico on Saturday at 6:30 in the morning, because if I hadn't, I would have been stuck there. And landed in Philly, did a Amazon Fresh order. So I had some groceries in the house, and then 15 inches fell on me, and I've been stuck inside ever since. And I'm not going to lie, it's been rough getting back into being here with this weather. Kids are off school again tomorrow. I'm just like, oh my God. So
yeah, but your kids are of age where
they are. I mean, I have a 17-year-old. I don't have to do anything, but like my 11-year-old, he was off today, and it was great. He had his buddy over here all day. They're outside. I mean, literally last night at 9:30, I'm like calling him and his friend. I'm like, you got to come inside. But then they're off tomorrow, and it's an asynchronous day. So it's a freaking school day. So it's not a snow day. They have to actually do work on the computer. And
so brutal.
Yeah. And so now I've got to make sure that he gets his work done, because if he doesn't turn all that work in when they go back to school, it counts as a absence. So, it makes it really hard on the parents that have to work. And also, I just like, let the kids have a freaking snow day. Like, right. I remember the blizzard of 96. I'm a little older than you guys.
No.
That we were off school the entire week. And I still remember like sledding all week long. It's all we did. We were just outside for an entire week, and it was awesome. And like, I don't know. It's just like the idea of like, oh, it's an asynchronous day. And I get they don't want to extend too far into the summer, but part of me, it's just like, you're putting everything on the parents that still have to work. And we've got to make sure, like for my daughter, do the asynchronous. She's 17. She can take care of herself. But when you got kids in elementary school and you're trying to have them learn at home, it becomes a real pain in the butt. So
yes, I agree with you. And my kids aren't at that age yet. They were home today, but I just think there's so much more to be gained. If nothing else, just morale. Having a snow day.
It's just like the memories of that,
Yes.
It's like the memories of like these snow days. And I don't know, like I get an update. We're tracking, I don't know if you're tracking, Connor, but they're tracking some like mega, I thought this was a big, like mega storm blizzard for this weekend. It's not going to go above like 9 degrees. This snow is never going to melt.
This week is cold.
I have snow drifts on my back deck that are like 4 feet high. And I'm just like, if a blizzard comes in this weekend, oh my God, like I can't.
It's going to be bad.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned 96 because I was just talking to somebody about that. It fell and it was January and we had just gotten off Christmas break and then we went right into the blizzard. So it was almost like a month where we really didn't go to school much. The great thing about me, I went to Catholic school, so we didn't have to adhere to like the state regulations where you had to make up school days because we missed so many days. They just threw their hands up and they're like, all right, well, we can't do anything. We can't make up a month.
Yeah, it is what it
can't
is.
go to school all the way through August. So it was awesome. It was awesome. But yeah, now my kids were off today and it's very different, with a toddler who you have to entertain and do whatever it is that you do with toddlers when they're home. So it's basically been 2 days straight. Luckily today I got Maggie out and I did some sledding at this old golf course where I used to actually sled when I was younger. And I knew I wanted to take her sledding, but then we got there and I realized, oh, wait, she definitely can't walk up this hill herself. So we did probably 8 or 9 runs, but each time I had to pick her up and trudge up the hill, carrying the tube and her on my other arm. So that was quite a workout, but it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
That's good, Dad. That's good.
No, it was a great time. She had a blast and she was, I guess she's old enough because I did it. I pushed her down and she went down by herself. I mean, we went down together a few times, but she was laughing it up and going down the hill all by herself. And it was a lot of fun.
Are there a lot of other parents too? And a lot of people, doing that? Is it like a hang too? Because I remember when the snow days would happen in New York, the 96 one, dude, every kid was out. Every older kid was out. It was like a bonding moment.
Yeah, there's definitely hills around here that everyone goes to. I have a nice hill in my backyard. So Travis just goes out there with his friends. Unfortunately, there's a pond to the right. So I'm always just it's frozen over now, but I'm always just so nervous that one of them are going to veer right in the pond. But yeah, it's
But
good
no,
fun.
Rob, I had my neighbor was there with his son, but there were tons of parents just kind of standing around hanging out together. So I texted all the school dads a little too late, so they couldn't make it. But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that, and wasn't fun doing the second round of shoveling today after that freezing rain. So the snow was super heavy.
How much snow did you get?
We probably got 12 or 13 inches.
Okay, so around the same. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I went out yesterday and shoveled. And then when I came back out this morning, there was probably another, 5 or 6 inches. So it was quite a bit. And then, I saw today, I jump on my phone and I see that nor'easter and I don't know how much snow we're going to get, but I have my in-laws coming over on Friday for the night. And my God in heaven, I hope that they don't get snowed in here at my house. I love them to death, but you can back me up on this, Ryan. When you're in the house for days on end, you start to get cabin fever. The walls start to close in, and I just can't fit. I have nice size home or whatever, but the idea of 2 more people being here is.
I haven't left my home since Saturday. I landed in Philly.
Yeah,
drove to my house. I haven't left, and I'm going crazy. And. I'm going crazy. So
at least you have a gym at your home though, Ryan, right?
That's true.
You have a legit fitness center.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
It definitely helps.
You have a sauna too?
I don't have a sauna. I have a sauna blanket, an infrared sauna blanket, which I've been in every single day. Honestly, because I couldn't get warm. There is something. I came from 90-degree weather and landed and it was 4 degrees and your body is not adjusted. I have been in a perpetual state of cold since I got back. So, but I'm going out to the Super Bowl next week. So
nice.
Oh, you are?
I am. Yeah.
Despite the Eagles not going?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
What are you going for?
We are a charity at one of the at an event. A charity partner at one of the big parties. So
I might see you there, Ryan.
Really?
I might be out there too.
Okay, let's talk. Maybe I'll get you an invite to the party.
Oh,
Which party?
I'll talk to Rob and you about it when I get off.
Oh, okay.
Fine. Okay.
But I won't be there for the Super Bowl. I'm leaving on
Same.
Saturday.
I'm not going for the game.
Yeah, I'm leaving on Saturday.
Yeah. Have you
yeah.
been to a Super Bowl before?
I haven't. No.
Mm.
I'm not going to. My first Super Bowl is not going to. Well, I shouldn't say that, but we do. But I wouldn't want to go to a Super Bowl that wasn't like my team playing in it. But on the other hand, I think I would because it's like super commercialized. Like, you know, I go to the NFC Championship games when we've won that. Like, that's our Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like, you know, it's your home team. Like you go to the Super Bowl, it's not even like the fans.
No, it's so corporate now.
Yeah.
You got to have real deep pockets. So
I saw that Dave bought a suite though. Did you
I didn't see
that?
No,
yeah.
I'm not surprised.
I think he got the ban lifted too, right?
Yes, I saw the NFL is allegedly not banning Barstool.
Yeah, so and he bought a suite. He said before the Broncos game, he bought a suite. So he's like, I'm in a different place than I once was. I bought a suite. I mean, how much do you think that suite costs?
I don't know.
It's got to be millions.
You think millions?
I think it's at least $1 million for sure.
I think it's probably
a few $100,000.
Yeah,
no, I think it's more than that.
In San Fran though, too. Actually, I'd say $1 million, maybe 1.5.
I think it's probably $1 million. I'm going off what Army Navy suites cost this year,
which was what?
Times like
50, right?
No, like 130.
Oh, I didn't realize they got up that high.
God, it got a little elevated the last 2 years.
Yeah.
All right, I just Googled it. It's saying anywhere from $300K to $3 million.
Yeah,
depending on the suite that you get.
Yeah.
He ain't buying a $300K suite. He's getting
no, probably not.
He's getting a good one.
Yeah, he's probably getting a good one. Good for him. Gosh, it's so nice to see him finally get a break. Really, I'm really happy for him and the Patriots.
Are you being
serious? It is interesting for that for him to be going back with the Patriots. Yeah. So and Barstool always has a lot of cool events surrounding the game, to include a party of. I don't know what the party situation is for Barstool this year. But anyway, so all right, let's get into this one topic before we throw it to the interview. And I'm going to open up the floor to you both because I put my thoughts out there on social media as it relates to what's going on in Minnesota. Last I checked, I muted the conversation because I just knew it would be a dumpster fire one way or the other, no matter what I said. And I felt like what I said was pretty down the middle and certainly not, I didn't view it as political, but I'm going to read something else that someone wrote that I think explains why I got the response that I got. And you know, it ran the gambit, positive, negative, and everything in between. But just big picture. And you can include the updates that we've heard today from the White House and Governor Walz on what's going on in the future in the coming days. But I want to open it up and just hear what you guys think about everything that's going on in Minneapolis and Minnesota with the ice and the loss of life that we've seen with the two main videos being Renee Good and Travis Pretty.
Alex
Pretty.
Alex Pretty.
Sorry. So who wants to start?
I could take a stab. I mean, to be very transparent, the 24th was my birthday, and I always go to a conscious extent to keep my phone down. I was really radio silent on, I think, Friday and Saturday. And so I kind of caught up with everything yesterday, and, you know, I was still responding back to messages and calls and well wishes and stuff. And it just made me so sad because it's just like another story where we're seeing messiness from law enforcement or not even. And it's just like, sometimes there's not enough tact from the side, I think, in a situation where there's escalation from a protest. Everything is being filmed. Everything is being documented. Tensions are just so high, and there's just no leadership, it feels like, to kind of de-escalate and just take a step back. And it's just so sad, man. And yeah, it's just you see friends post stuff, and I don't know. I don't know how to fix it, but it just seems like everyone just needs to take a fucking pause. And
Mhm.
it's not what our country's about, man. Regardless of what you think politically, ideologically, seeing that stuff is so sad. You got this gentleman who served at the VA hospital to then be gunned down by some border patrol or ICE agents, whatever they are, whoever they are, right? Masked up, looking like a group from another country, maybe. And it just sucks, man. And I don't know how people can really support it. And it's just really sad. And I don't really have any planned out thoughts here. I'm just like speaking from kind of the heart and what I
I
saw.
kind of appreciate that though. I almost don't want you to have these like predetermined thoughts. I want to just hear like visceral, what's your reaction? And I
Mhm.
think you said it pretty succinctly there and where you stand. As it relates to de-escalation, we saw today, Monday, President Trump and Governor Walz came out and collectively agreed, hey, this has gone on to a point that we can't sustain. We need to bring the temperature down, and we're going to figure something out
Mhm.
moving forward, whether that's the removal of those ICE agents in Minnesota altogether or adjusting operations. But nevertheless, they said they spoke, they had a good conversation, it was productive, they both want the same things. And that was really the crux of what I was saying. It's like, hey, we just need the adults in the room, or those are supposed to be the adults, to come forward and say, whoa, 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 this is not what we expect to see happening on the streets of America. We need to fix this. Let's take a step back and de-escalate this thing, because it's getting to a place that I don't think anybody wants it to be.
Yeah. I really like what you had to say, Rob. Honestly, I'm someone, knowing that we were going to be talking about this, like I had to collect my thoughts because
No, that's fine.
it's just like, because I'm like all over the place, and like I have a couple like streams of consciousness that like I was thinking about. I think I'll start with the first thing and then kind of go back to like where I am on all this. But like honestly, like one of the biggest things that's been bothering me about this whole thing is the way it's being handled on social media. Like it is so like I'm seeing a ton of posts that like don't invite conversation.
Mhm.
They're like issuing like moral ultimatums. And
That's a really good point, Ryan. I
yeah,
think
it's like agree with me or you're garbage. Like you're not wrong, not you're wrong, you're garbage.
and then the
And
next story is like them working out or like enjoying tea. It's just
well,
like
it's like I don't think that kind of thinking is brave. I think it's super lazy to
yeah,
just be like, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, you're a piece of shit. And I'm
Yeah.
seeing a ton of that. And I'm seeing that from people that I consider friends. And
same.
it's just like it's wild to me, and it's dangerous. And I think when like when disagreement gets put into like character flaws and you start doing that sort of like rhetoric, we start having factions, and that's how things like get even more again
Mhm.
escalated. That's how the temperature gets even higher. And frankly, I'll tell you, I've had a ton of DMs, not from people I know, but like I've got a bunch of DMs saying, why haven't you spoken out about this?
Oh,
And it's just like, well, part of me doesn't know what to say because I
same.
am conflicted. And, like I started to think like, listen, something wrong happened here. That young man should not have been gunned down in the way he was. Like that's a fact.
Mhm.
And it needs to be like investigated fully and honestly, like no excuses, no rhetoric around how we're saying that, no protecting systems at the expense of people. But at the same time, chaos and violence and destruction don't become righteous just because people are angry. Like, and both of those can be truths at the same time. And
Yes, I agree.
I'm not saying that there's any justification for the way in which Alex Predit was killed. From what I can see on the videos that I saw. But this is, and I tried to like, how do I tailor this all down into one thing? And it's like, here's what I believe. I believe accountability matters. I believe truth matters. I believe that order matters. And I believe that human dignity matters. And none of those values cancel each other out. And I think that's where like the big problem lies, right? It's like you're on one side or the other, and you don't have to abandon one to defend the other.
Yeah.
Like we don't have to do that. And like, I think when we pretend that they're in conflict, we weaken all of them. And so it's just, I don't know. The reason that I didn't put anything up is because I think that people are going to say like I'm fence sitting, right? Like just kind of like you, kind of like I'm towing the line. I'm somewhere in the middle. But like, I think that the idea of like fence sitting or being somewhere in the middle avoids like upholding ourselves to standards. And I think what I'm doing is insisting upon them on both sides. Like, and I think, you know, it doesn't take any courage to pick a team and repeat talking points. And I think that's what I see a lot of happening on both sides. But I think it takes courage to demand like accountability from both sides. And that's not happening, right? Like it's no one's saying like you're wrong and you're wrong. And both of those things are true. I mean, I see it. Both of those things are true. And I think I'd rather be anchored in like my values than controlled by like a particular narrative. And that's not what I'm going to do. And if you want to say I'm taking the easy way out as a result of that, fine by me.
Yeah. I just think like what you said, a lot of things can be true at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's what we're missing, or what I'm seeing that a lot of people are missing. It's one way or the other. I will tell you, and maybe this is my military background, maybe this is growing up with a lot of law enforcement in and around my family, and then to this day being friends with a lot of law enforcement. It bothers me that these ICE agents don't seem to follow any sort of SOP, any sort of rules of engagement. They're all wearing something different. It irks me that their faces are covered, and clearly that's a directive. They're told to cover up their faces. That doesn't sit well with me. I mean, you think about a law enforcement individual, an officer in any of the towns we live in. What's one thing they all have? They have a name tag that says, I'm Officer Smith, and you can clearly see my face, and there's body cams, and there's that accountability you were talking about, Ryan. So that not existing doesn't sit well with me.
But there is also, I agree. There is also the understanding that I don't, and please do not take this with any like justification for like what happened in that specific incident. But the fact of the matter is that they were sent there to do a job, which is to get illegal aliens out of Minnesota. Okay. Criminals who have killed and raped young women in our country. And that's a fact. Okay. So, you know, when you want to talk about Laken Riley, the young woman who went out for a freaking run and was raped and murdered by an illegal alien, that's the facts. Okay. And they, you know, and I don't want to get into all the parameters, but like there's a lot of obstruction of what they are trying to accomplish. And that's where the temperatures rise. That's where things get super escalated. And again, I'm not justifying one side or the other, but I'm saying like, I don't know what I'm saying.
I love what you just went down though, Ryan, because I think you just communicated that so clearly as to what the initial mission statement was of their efforts. And I
Yeah,
feel
maybe it's gotten away from that. Maybe it's gotten
I
away
feel
from
like
that.
that's exactly because I'm in 100% in alignment with that. I just think when you do get into these really hot waters where the tensions are not just political, but it's almost cultural and societal, that you need to maybe shift your strategy, maybe peel back, recalibrate, and maybe look at the next course of action because
It ain't working. And
it's not working and
it's not
you're being
working.
fucking filmed on camera. Like
Yeah.
what your job entails, what they're trying to accomplish, no one should be hearing about it. It should be very decisive, kind of like the Venezuela smooth operation, right? Like up until
Well, I think the other problem is seemingly you have a lot of folks, and this isn't everyone in that agency, but it seems like you have a lot of folks who are not completely well trained to be doing these sort of operations and maybe lack the experience. And I just think back to when I deployed and all the training that went up to deploying, and then you get into a situation and someone you thought was really well trained doesn't perform how they were supposed to. Well, now strip away that 6 months to a year worth of training, give them a crash course, and you might see people acting in such a way that is not befitting of a federal officer. And these situations are so tense and they're asked to make decisions in split seconds, and you're almost setting them up for failure. Now, counter to that, you have individuals who are impeding federal operations. So I was never taught to get in the way. If I saw a police officer arresting someone, my first thought wouldn't be, I better go up and interject myself into that situation. And I don't know that I agree with these, calling them protests. You could describe them in other ways, but I don't know why they would be effective. Why getting in the way of somebody who's given an order to carry out an operation and getting in their way? That doesn't sound like a protest to me. That feels more deliberate.
I just think that this country doesn't need more noise, and it's just, I don't know.
I want to read something because I found this, and this person, I have no idea who it is, but he wrote something on Twitter that resonated with me and goes to what you were saying earlier, Ryan. His name's @Dylan Allman. We are living through a moment where a group of people do not just disagree. They do not even acknowledge a shared fundamental reality. There's no common frame of reference, no mutual set of facts from which discourse can even begin. They can watch the same video from multiple angles and walk away convinced they saw a completely different event. They exist inside a narrative so deeply entrenched that to question it, to even acknowledge a contradiction, is to commit some sort of ideological treason. There is a deliberate conditioned immunity to contradiction. It is a cultivated resistance to evidence. They have developed a mind so thoroughly welded to its chosen reality that it will alter, discard, or fabricate whatever it must to maintain coherence. They can be shown in real time the unraveling of their worldview, and they will patch over the holes with fantasy rather than face any doubt whatsoever. Politics has turned knowledge itself into a partisan weapon. The expectation is no longer to seek truth, but to defend your team at all costs. And it goes on much further than that. But that's the crux of it, is that you have these people that just fall in line and speak their talking points. And it's almost funny on social media. You know, your friends and people that you look at every day, you can already know what they're going to be reposting, what they're going to be parroting. And rather than take each individual incident on its face and analyze the facts, they just rush to judgment to further their own points, much like this gentleman was saying. And it just resonated with me. And I've been trying to say this to an extent for a long time now, and not as eloquently and with as many big SAT words as this gentleman did, but it just kind of made me pause and say, wow, this guy kind of nailed it. That's exactly what's going on. And excuse me, when I can tell what people are going to say before they even say it or before they post, I think that's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you think that says about us as a culture too, where you have people from both sides of the political aisle, just friends of ours, maybe even family, close people we know, like just so easy, so trigger happy to jump on any political or social event or topic, throw their opinion out there for hundreds, thousands of people to hear, and then kind of just shut the app and walk away and go about their day. I feel like that's something that we need to get in check too, where it's like, what are you trying to signal? What's going through your head too? Like, how are you helping the situation? Right. That's like kind of what I'm getting at is like, how are you making yourself useful so you can help?
Well, here's the thing I want to know. How many times have you changed your opinion on someone based off of some inflammatory post that someone puts up? Never. Like, it doesn't happen. So it's not productive. It just further separates and divides. And like, I think it speaks to like the larger issue in this country. And frankly, the best thing that has happened is Waltz and Trump both coming out with statements saying, we had a productive conversation. That shuts the noise down immediately. Because what is the left going to say and what is the right going to say? I'm pissed at you, Waltz, for talking to Trump. Trump, I'm pissed at you for talking to Waltz. Like, it just shuts the shit down. So, you know, hopefully, not only did that discussion happen, but hopefully there's changes made, you know?
Yeah. It neutralizes all everybody's talking points from their corners. Like, it breaks their brain. They're like, wait a second. You talk to the quote unquote enemy.
Right.
What are you doing?
Yeah. And there's got to be more of that happening earlier and quicker. Like, it shouldn't have got here. We should not have watched what happened to Alex Predit happen.
No,
you know,
no,
we just shouldn't.
One other part of this post that I'll read and just really stood out. It said, when factions exist in separate realities, they cannot coexist. They cannot negotiate. They cannot reason. They cannot even comprehend the other side as anything but a threat. And I think that's what I was just saying, where you're breaking people's brains when Trump and Waltz both come out and say, we spoke, because
it was good.
That's a good thing that they spoke. And that they publicly said we spoke and it went well, and neither spoke ill of the other from what we've seen thus far.
You know what happened. You know what needs to happen next. If I was a statesman in one of those positions, I would be either Governor Walz or President Trump, and I would try to get a photo op as soon as possible and get to Minnesota and do something on the ground. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure. That's not what I'm here to figure out. But I feel like something a little more cohesive. It's great they tweeted. It's great they had a phone call. That's great. The tensions are still high. People still really hate each other. There's got to be another step to kind of fix this.
Yeah, it reminds me of the picture that's always all over the internet, and it's not to make light of this, but it's the two gang members from the Bloods and the Crips.
Yeah,
and the holding up are tied together, and they're holding it up together. I have no idea what that's actually from, but that's the equivalent of what you need. You need Waltz and Trump standing together, say like, we don't want this.
Neither.
We don't want this for this country.
That's really how you start to solve stuff. It's anyone can do this, bro. Anyone can take out their fucking phone and start tweeting and stuff. But it's like, we need some extra. We need more. We need
people to be humans.
I think we
need humans.
Yeah, and I think we need higher expectations across the board for people like them, right?
Yeah.
Like for the institutions in which we vote for and we put ourselves behind.
That's good, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, we need higher expectations for ourselves as individuals, like, and what we're doing, like, and we just need like media. We need facts before fury. I think we are so quick to jump, and the media is a problem in the way they hype this. Like, the sensationalism that comes with it, and
it's all about getting clicks and eyeballs, and it needs to not be about that.
Yeah. Like, I read the whole story down. I want to get into it, but like about the 5-year-old used as bait.
Right.
Like, but like, there's a lot behind like there has to be better accountability from a lot of people. And that starts from the top. And that starts from our elected officials who are putting these things in place, these practices in place, these policies in place. They are responsible for bringing the temperature down. And frankly, I think they started it today and they need to continue. Like it can't just
they
be
need to
that
do
one
more
thing.
of that. They need to do more of that because that will, by leaps and bounds, do more than anything else we've seen to date. And it's just it's interesting to see, like when you've seen in the past, and I forget whose funeral it was at, but all the former presidents were at their funeral, and you see President Obama and President Trump talking, and with President Bush
and laughing
and laughing, and like, wait a second, what's actually, are they just like normal people? Like obviously they're not normal given their positions, but is all this kind of just theater? And then the other example that you've seen recently, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who was probably one of the most fiery and in person who incited anger from the Republican Party in recent memory, and now she's no longer in that seat. And all of her public statements are really a 180. It's like, wait a second, did you all of a sudden just change your mind on all this? Or were you just saying what you had to say? And you get a look behind the curtain. It's like, wait a second, that DHS bill that was passed, it funded both sides of this argument here. So what's actually going on? And the more people can just take a step back and realize, wait a second, I think we're all in this together in this country. And I said, and if you guys don't have anything else, we can move on because I feel like we're maybe talking a little bit in circles. But if you took these scenarios and you just wrote them out on paper and you didn't give anybody names, you didn't say locations, you just said the facts of the situation, and you put it in front of 10 humans across this country, 10 Americans, I think they would largely be in agreement that, wait a second, all this violence in the street and people dying, like that's not good. But then, you assign sides to everything, and then people start justifying, and then people start name calling and saying one side is evil and the other side is trying to do the right thing. And I think we just need to remove all of that partisanship and just try to remember that at the end of the day, we're all just humans and we need to improve the state of this country.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well said.
I always look to, like, I was Googling just to make sure I was correct. And like, one of the things that I always love, and it kind of goes to like a left and right thing. And you talk about like big issues and things you can disagree on. And I always like harken back to the friendship between Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Anthony Scalia. Like they disagreed on some of the most crucial decisions made for our country, but they were like close personal friends. Like they spent holidays together. Their families went on trips together. And I just think there's such like the dichotomy of that. And like, what an example for like, I think most of this country thinks like, I think they don't understand that like two truths can exist at one time, and like they just don't get it. Like we don't all have to be enemies, because we don't see everything.
Yeah. I said it to another buddy at Barstool. I said, listen, if you and I walked into a bar, first of all, no one's wearing a sign that says, this is what I believe in. Yeah. We walk into a bar, we could probably talk to anybody in that bar and get along well with them. And if we're watching a game and sit there and eat some wings, drink some beer, and all have a grand old time, and as strangers. But all of a sudden on social media, you decide like, well, this person is X and this person is Y. So I believe that guy and I disagree with that guy. It's like, wait, what? So I just, I don't, and maybe this is me being overly optimistic. As always, the eternal optimist.
As always.
Yes, what's going on in the country right now is really bad. I don't know that we're that far from fixing it, though.
It's super easily correctable.
It is and it isn't. I get it because it's like you're trying to. It's like turning a cruise ship here. We're so deeply entrenched in the current reality of our country that it would take time, but I don't know that and I'm contradicting myself here. I don't think it would have to be, we're not that far from fixing it. I really truly think at the end of the day, because I just think when you go out into the world, you get off your phone, you go out into the world, how many bad interactions do you really have with strangers? I would say largely people have mostly good, maybe, somebody cut you off in traffic and you are mad at that person. But by and large, you go out in the world, and I don't go out in the world and get into fights every day, right? Mm-hmm. And people are friendly. And I think that's common no matter where you live in this country. So I think we can get there if we all just collectively agree, let's do this together and let's put our swords down and stop trying to be right and just try to be Americans together.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Beat Navy.
Beat Navy. All right. Let's throw it to the interview with Kyle. I will say I am a little bummed. Pretty bummed. I actually didn't have an opportunity to sit down and talk with him because I think the transition from military to civilian, especially when you think about the skills that veterans bring to the civilian workforce and the experiences, knowing how to translate that, it's not something that is done well by our military right now in terms of that transition. So guys like Kyle and what he's built is such a helpful tool. So let's throw it to Kyle and Rob.
What's up, everybody? It's Rob, your friendly co-host from Bold American. I have a friend of mine on the show today. We've become close friends almost over the last few years in the content space. He's a fellow West Point graduate. He's an entrepreneur. He's just an all-around good dude, funny guy, really, really chill dude. But he has an amazing platform. And we've been trying to get him on the fucking show for months, and he's so busy. But he finally decided to give us some time on a holiday weekend, even though it's his birthday weekend. So really shout out to you, Kyle. But hey, everybody, I got Kyle Eberly on the show today, on his first Barstool Sports podcast, I believe. And we're here to just talk military shit, veteran shit, transition shit, content stuff, and just whatever else is going on in Kyle's life right now. And with that, Kyle, welcome to the show. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, no, thank you for the intro. This really great. And no, it's really cool to just kind of text in my buddies like, oh, we had a Barstool show. It's going to be fun. Yeah. So, always like coming out and just bullshitting. And yeah, dude, it's always been I think you and I were we were Army Air Force, a couple years back, and what's his face was talking to us, and he was like, "Isn't it weird that you two are basically you cover everybody here in terms of Instagram pages?" And I was like, "Yeah, it is weird, But
that was Army Air Force at the Rangers ballpark.
Yeah, good venue for it.
Amazing. Okay. Before we get into some other stuff about you and everything, how sick would it be to have Army, Navy? My co-host probably wouldn't agree. I think it'd be sick to have Army, Navy in Dallas at the Cowboy Stadium.
Oh yeah, I mean, I kind of had the same thought where they were because I know they were talking about moving it up, right? Before Trump put out that thing, he says, "No, we're not going to do it."
Right, yeah.
Can you do that? I mean, I guess you can, but I was like, okay, well, if they're going to move it back, right, it should be somewhere like Dallas or something. If we're just going to totally just turn it upside down, just make it an ultimate neutral site, right? With it's easy to fucking fly into, right?
For everybody, yeah.
Yeah, Dallas is the easiest airport. It's in the middle of the country, right? And it's okay, it probably would go off pretty hard. It wouldn't be an early season game, right? It should be during rivalry week or something, but it would still go off if it was in a spot like that.
I agree. When my father was a cadet, I think in 86 or 87, they flew everybody to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, I've heard of this.
And there was some financial stuff with that and repercussions and some BS, but I feel like both academies, the TV rights, the way it's solidified now, I feel like if you did it somewhere like in Atlanta,
Dallas,
you just fly everybody out. The alumni, Kyle, You're in Texas, you know, like I'm
Yeah.
in Vegas, you're in Texas, you understand the gravity of the alumni in Texas. It's
there's a ton. There's a lot here. It's kind of crazy. There's
So-
also just a lot of like, there's just like a lot of, we've got all these military bases and like people want to like live in these cities here. So
especially Austin. So tell me, speaking of you being in Austin, what's Kali Really's story? How did you become, the owner operator of the Sitreps brand? Like what, in a couple minutes, like what did you do? Obviously you went to West Point, you flew some rotary aircraft, but like what's kind of the Eberly story?
okay, first off, before I do that, they flew half the core out for the Texas A&M game when I was a cadet, and that was cool because we all went to Stewart and flew out. So I kind of got like that experience a little bit. So totally in favor. Anyway, so I guess you're like, everyone, go to West Point, whatever, be an aviation officer. Sitreps is like origin, I think, it's like an input of like a lot of different like things that just like I observed and people I met and just kind of like things I went through. And I guess just like, so like, leave the military, go do like the Goldman Sachs Veterans Integration Program, right? And you start to get exposed to like what like kind of like really like up there professional life looks like and like the kind of cadence and like moving around and the politics of it and like how to succeed in it. And I was like, man, people don't know it's coming. This is not the military. And I'm sure most folks who have transitioned out will tell you that. And so like I just kept going through that, like going through like Goldman Sachs, the VIP program, and going to MBA at Carnegie Mellon, and then doing another investment banking internship, right? And then working in consulting. I was just like, man, and I just thought about like all the, to be quite like frank, the hardos that like I kind of knew like in the military. I was like, man, you guys get fucking smoked here. Like you don't even like know like how good these people are. Like they run circles around folks. And I get it's different, right? Like it's like the military is different than working in the office job or private sector or whatever. But like there are a lot of similarities, right? And it requires like to be really successful requires, I think, a lot of the same mindset, but the skills are different. And so I was also, president of the Veterans Club, is at Carnegie Mellon, and I just ended up talking to a lot of vets. So you just kind of get like a lot of hits, right, on like hearing kind of like the same problem set and like same, hey, misconceptions or people don't know what they don't know. And then I started working as a consultant, and I was just like, honestly, dude, I was like looking at your page and I was like, man, he doesn't like talk about what it's like to actually work in like out of the Army, which I think is like a big kind of missed like experiential opportunity, that most most like kind of old grads, don't keep it real or kind of talk about like the way it is. And also, and it's also like, well, if you could be funny about this and you'd be able to kind of like mix in, because like people are on social media to be entertained, right? Like nobody goes on social media to be lectured. It's media. It's in the name, right? So I was like, if you could make it like super entertaining and throw in some useful stuff, I was like, I bet you could build an audience off it and monetize it, and also do some good. So that's kind of like that's like the origin of it.
When was that? So when did you first when did you first publish your first post?
Like in maybe late 2019.
2019, okay.
Yeah, like maybe I want to say it's like fall, but it seems like I'd have to go look at like when the page was created.
You guys, dude, you should have that as like an anniversary day. You should do that for the Sitreps brand, like a fucking like.
Yeah, maybe I should, like, now that I have some actual help to run it, maybe I should be like, hey, let me go figure this out because I don't want to do it. But yeah, it's sometime in like, I think it was like the very, very early fall, because like I had some bangers about like, there's this one, like the 10 people you meet when you get out of the military. That one went off. I was like, oh damn.
I think I reshared that too. And I was like, yo, this account is giving like liquidity.
Yeah. Well,
all those other accounts. It was like, I reshared it too in stories. I think stories dropped in 2017. So a lot of your content, I was just like resharing in the stories.
Mm-hmm.
And a a lot of those other Fin meme accounts follow me, and some of them were like, "Oh shit, who's this?" I was like, "Yeah, this guy's fucking funny, dude."
Well, yeah, I mean, like they're an inspiration for it too, right? And
Yeah.
I was like, it's just like look at the Venn diagram of like where there's a missed opportunity, and
Yeah.
you know, you kind of met like enough. I met enough like vets out in the professional space that I also, they think it's funny. It is amusing to me though because of just like the way social media works. And oh damn, that was a nasty hit. Sorry, I got the
You're good.
the Rams Bears game on in front of me. And you know, just the way the social media algorithms work, right? They're designed to kind of like figure out like what you're interested in and like periodically throw in new things to see what, you know, if you're interested in that. And the number of people that have like followed this account who I know in real life, but they didn't like know it was me. Like they just were like somehow like sorted over to it because of how good social media algorithms are. It's like literally everybody I've ever like professionally worked with or were a friend with. It is insane. And I'm like, damn, it's really good. But I will say also the other input to it or the, you know, inspiration for it is, and this is, you know, I'm like sometimes like take a joke, guys, right? Like when I went to my MBA program at Carnegie Mellon, there was a school endorsed student run weekly publication where we would make fun of each other in like the most vicious ways possible. And basically because like MBA students are a bunch of like, you know, they're like army officers, man. They're like a bunch of like, they all think like they're the fucking hottest thing on the planet. And they do like kind of wacky, stupid shit, right? Because they're maybe like a little bit lacking in like emotional intelligence sometimes. And yeah, we would just make fun of each other. What was it called? I forget the name of it.
Was it like a weekly publication or something?
Yeah, it was a weekly publication, and we would just rip on each other. It was like there was like a full editorial staff.
So it'd be like if I was your classmate at Carnegie Mellon, I would just be like, would it be like anonymous, or I would just like say, this week I'm gonna make fun of Kyle Eberly. This week I'm gonna make fun of.
Yeah, it would be anonymous. So you'd almost come up with like, this was like pre-meme, right? If this like makes sense, like pre whatever social media era like we're in right now. And so like people would like, they'd come up kind of like, it'd be like written things. Sometimes it would be, you know, like pictures, you know, it was kind of like meme-ish, right? And, you know, people would have to figure out like, who are they talking about? You know, and it's like, you know, but it's like a good way to keep like social, like, I don't know, like social norms enforced, right? And to keep people from going too far off the reservation. So I almost think like the SitReps account is sometimes a part of that too. It's like, there's a lot of fucking stupid people out there, man. Like, it's just like, what is going on in the world? And I know everybody thinks they're a genius, like, but still.
How do you, yeah, I've been running DOG for 10 plus years now, going on year 11. And it is the amount of people that I know unfollow and then refollow and then unfollow me. And then also the sheer number of West Point graduates, Army affiliated people, military affiliated people that also do not follow me, but come back to watch my stories.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
It's strange, bro. It's like people can't get enough of our content and they still want to come back. And it's just like
they get pissed off. Or
I think like what is that? Like, and I'm talking about West Point graduates. I'm talking about people on both sides of the political spectrum, by the way. I'm talking about men and women. And I'm just like, why do people take such offense to shit that you and I are fucking coming up in the shower, walking our dogs, driving to work, after a meeting? Sometimes we just get the creative spark, right? But I'm like, what? Like, how do people take shit so personal, bro?
Well, it's just everything's a Rorschach test now, right? You got to be on like one side or the other, and there's so much like nuance is lost. And I also think it's just, you know, people like to be pissed off too. And social media is just like a megaphone for that. It's like what I say. It's like open mic night at a rock concert, right? Like you're gonna get some opinions, right? So like, what the fuck are you supposed to do about it? And people are like, how do you not get offended by the comments? And I was like, guys, it's the internet. Who the fuck cares? Yeah, right. Like as long as somebody doesn't show up to a gun with at my house, like, you know, and like, I'm not like, if they do, like, what am I supposed to do about that? Besides, you know, whatever. Like, it's just, what are you gonna do about it?
What do you how do you balance? So I was at a big tech company before I kind of went a little more public with who I am and the Barstool show and everything. Fuck it, I'll say it. I was at Amazon, and I was very, very scared, frankly, about letting people know at AWS that I ran this account. No one ever knew. There are a few people at AWS who are West Point graduates, a couple people that are really good friends of mine who knew, but they're like friends from like cadet days. There's fucking like 300 West Pointers at AWS. Like, come on, just like Google probably. But like, how do you balance, or what are your thoughts? And we can cut that out if you want. But like, what are your thoughts on balancing social with corporate life and corporate?
Yeah, no, I'll give my thoughts on it. You know, I think it's an interesting question. People have asked me about it. So there's a few things, right? I think first off, like every company is different and every like culture is different, you know, and
Well said, yeah.
I think at the bottom line, it's like, can you perform and, you know, still like get what you're like, you keep your manager and your manager's manager happy, right? Like, do you perform at work? And if you do, right, like nobody's ever going to start to question, like, what else are you up to? You know? That, and I think, you know, I think at like big corporate America, that's probably the case. I think maybe less so at smaller companies where relationships can be like more personal. Though, you know, it just depends. But as long as you're able to perform and you know you have, and you also you know your relationship with your manager, right?
Yeah.
Like, is your manager chill about stuff or not? Or, you know, so it just, I think that depends on like what's the culture of the company. I know, like in tech specifically, like the kind of talent density is so high, right? And people are like so talented because it's possible to make a lot of money and you have to be smart to be in the industry, right? Is I think the tech companies almost kind of like expect for that to be happening. And they're like, well, that's just what this kind of like quality of talent is going to do. Like
there's going to be, if you hire someone of really good talent, they're going to come with content on X, content on IG, content on LI. Is that kind of what you're saying? Or are you saying like,
well, no, I'm just saying they're going to have like other ventures.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna have other things going on, right? So like, and obviously they have to be able to, like, for a full-time role, they have to be able to perform. But like, you know, like, don't be surprised that they have, you know, other business interests as well, because that's just kind of like the sort of population you're gonna get.
How do you view that? Like, if you were, I think it also depends when you start, right? If you're an L8 at Amazon or an L10. And you're an advisor and you're, you know, on the board of a nonprofit for veteran military, whatever, or you're doing something else, I feel like that's okay. But if you're like an L4, L5 at Amazon, or maybe lower manager at Google or Apple, I feel like it might be a little more stressful and frowned upon if you're, you know, maybe dedicating time that is public, that is like, oh, I'm doing this, and you're posting about it on LinkedIn. I feel like that.
I mean, if it's like pretty obvious that you're just fucking off all the time, like, yeah, I think that, you know, like it's hard, you know, perception is reality, right? So, like, yeah, and you'd be like, and it would look weird, right? And it's like, are you in the office or not? Because like everybody wants everybody back in the office, and especially at Amazon, they've gotten like super weird about it. But
it's crazy, bro.
You know,
like what I just saw the other day, like now they're checking not only when you get in, but like when you leave and how long you stay during the day.
Yeah, that's wild. I was like, I'm like, I don't know if I ever want to work there. I don't know. It just depends, right? And I also think it's like, what sort of content do you post? Right? Are you getting up there and like doing like a Nick Fuentes act, right? If so, probably not going to be a fucking good time, right? Though actually. I mean, I just don't know like how different industries are going to react differently to it. It's that simple, right? If you're a company full of people like MAGA folks, right, they might be like, oh yeah, dude, cool, you know. But like, it just depends. But yeah, like if you're doing stuff like that, I would think you're in a lot more danger of like having it impact your employment versus if you run a page that like helps veterans and posts dumb memes, right? And you know,
what if those dumb memes could be? What if those dumb memes piss off the wrong person?
Well, there's no way to know that, right? There's no way to know that. Everybody, it's like art. Everybody interprets it differently, just like you were saying.
Memes are the new art. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's like a form of expression. With that being said, right, if you have some guardrails, right, and it's like no racist, no sexist, like don't say the N-word, et cetera, as long as you like keep that, like, and that's what I tell my team. I'm like, look, here are the kind of like rules of social media. You know, don't do this, don't say that, you can never say that, you can never imply that, et cetera, as long as you stick to those things, you can post whatever the fuck you want, and we won't get into trouble. You know, it's like when you like if we do something other than that, like those are like, you know, charged wires, right? You're begging for trouble.
See, the reason why I specifically never told anyone, and it was an open secret, especially amongst people like us, but like at Amazon specifically, is because from time to time, Kyle, I have like, just like what you reshared yesterday, the Trump statement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even advocating for the guy. Like, I'll post something though, and dude, people lose their minds. People go berserk.
I know. I read the comments. Whenever you post something that's like could be slightly interpreted as political, I kind of read it. Or I don't really check the comments to see what the temp is, and I'm like, yep, it's about what I thought. I don't know, man. I like the whole Trump derangement thing. I think it's kind of real. Like I am not like, I'm not a guy that like voted for Trump or whatever, you know. I didn't think Kamala would have been a good president either. I'm just kind of in general disappointed by our governance choices, you know, in the past, you know, couple decades. But, you know, like you've just got to get over it. Right. And like my dad has this problem. Like after we fucking snatched Maduro and stuff, he was like texting me like, I am now convinced the U.S. military will illegally invade Greenland and suspend elections in the United States. And I was like, Dad, no, it's not going to happen. Like, neither of those things are going to happen. And I was like, can you and so it's like, it's almost like I have like when like Obama was president or Biden was president, I have like the opposite problem of like, you know, it's just like,
dude, I had that on both sides too. Yeah. I published, for everyone listening, I even posted, I'm obviously a little right of center. I posted, though, a photo of Joe Biden at my graduation. And I was like, good luck, sir. Like, with all due respect, on Drunkelgrad. I was like, he won. Good luck to him. Like, cool. Dude, it was almost worse than something that I published about Trump. It was nutsos, Kyle. And I forgot if it's still up or if I archived it, but it's like you just can't win regardless. Like you'll just never. So I just shoot my shot now, and I feel like most people are like you and me, right? Or are normal in the sense that you're gonna post it, whatever, bro. Fucking get over it.
I always kind of look at like I'll see like read some of the comments, and I'll feel like my blood pressure rising. I'll go look at the number of like. I'll look at the comments, which will, you know, sometimes will make me upset, but I remember internet, not real. Yeah. And, you know, I'm like, I look at the number of likes and shares, and I'm like, okay, these people are just a small percentage of the people that actually, you know, thought it had the meaning that I thought or whatever. So it's just like, it's the internet.
What do you and for everyone listening, if you go on Instagram, the way Kyle, myself, other really skilled social media marketers or content creators publish and track stuff, specifically track stuff, is like when something takes off and it's highly engaging, if you look at the number of shares, the arrow, and then you look at the number of saves, that'll kind of dictate as to how the post takes off in the first 12 to 24 hours. So Kyle's got a lot of bangers like that. He does.
There's also like slow cookers too. Like if something doesn't,
yes, my favorite types, bro.
You just post it and you forget about it and you come back, you're like, what the fuck?
Dude, it's like 7 days later, you're like, oh, this caught a wave.
Yeah, you're like, yeah. So it's just because like the algorithm is like picking stuff up, like these machine learning classifiers, and they're trying to figure out, okay, like what is the context of this post? Like what is this shit about? And it's like, how can I feed it to the next, you know, to that person's who interests also like coincide with this, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, a looking back in your own reflection. Kind of how it is.
It's nuts how much better. I'd specifically say in the last 3 years.
Oh yeah, I mean it's about time.
How much better you and I have gotten, because we understand our audiences so well, and I'm deep in the data too for my account, my other accounts that I manage for clients and work and stuff. But it's crazy how that, like, dude, nowadays if I post something and I say it's gonna be a banger, I'm like 90% sure. Now, like back in the day, it was probably like a 40%, 50%. Like this could take off maybe like during COVID. Even I was like, I don't know. Nowadays, if I have a really, really, really good piece of content, like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck were on Joe Rogan 2 days ago.
That's right.
They were. I listened to that podcast as soon as it came out. Matt Damon broke down the opening sequence of Saving Private Ryan. I downloaded that scene, that clip from JRE, published it on Bold American. Within 1 day, dude, it got 15,000 likes. And I knew it was going to take off because no account had published it yet.
Yeah.
The interview was brand new. And it's like moments like that. Like, I feel like I'm getting better at like judging what's going to, like the Mergero stuff.
Oh yeah. You gotta have like, you gotta just sense the temperature. I mean, it's kind of like a news thing, right? It's like,
yes.
What do you want to, what, you know, it helps me I think it helps me understand like the news and like, or if you were to run like a political campaign, I think it helped me understand that a little better because you got to stay topical and you got to become like a source of like useful info for folks, but at the same time be amusing. And I've had people tell me like, I get my news from you. Like I find out late breaking, you're quick on it. And I was like, fuck yeah, I am. But
that's awesome,
you know, like, it's also, yeah, you just sometimes you feel it and you're like, I feel it in my bones.
You just got to monitor the situation, bro.
Yeah, monitoring the situation. That has got to be the funniest. Like, that's such an evergreen.
It's so good.
It's so good. Like, there's like, for the audience listening, like, there's always like, you think about like doing like content, right? There are things that are going to be like a one-time flash in the pan. And it's usually like some sort of like situation that's like super topical, right? And so like everybody's focused on it, but there's also just like evergreen things, like things that are always funny, like forever funny, right? And like when you can't find something super topical, you go with an evergreen topic.
Yes,
because it's like otherwise, what the fuck you're gonna talk about, right? Because like you have your niche, you have your audience, right? And that audience is going to be interested in certain things. Though it is also important to try new stuff because it does help your audience grow a little bit and maybe like find people that could be adjacent to your core audience. So.
That's a good point. And I would also say lean into the platform features. Adam Mosseri, the CEO of Instagram, and Elon, the CEO of Twitter, they literally post daily and weekly as to what the new features are and how you can maximize exposure. I've been listening to Adam Mosseri since 2017, 18.
How old is he? He's got to be.
Dude, I think he's got to be mid 40s.
Yeah, he looks mid 40s. He doesn't look much older than me. Which, like, when I see execs who are like, oh man, Army put me back, bro.
Yeah,
I was like, it's not a joke. You really does fuck up your kind of professional career for a little bit. But
what do you mean? What does?
Like going to the Army, like sets.
Oh, going to the Army, yeah.
Yeah, but like it's just, because I'm like I meet all these execs that are in their 40s, and I'm like, ugh.
Dude. So okay, let's talk about that. That's a really good fucking spot. What? Okay, dude. Before I pivot into that,
I can't really talk about like work because you're not allowed to, and I like
no. I'm not going to talk about work, but I want to gauge from you the obsession of LinkedIn. You are a content creator. I get what you do.
Yeah.
There is no reason why former captain, soon to be transitioning person XYZ should be publishing more than once a week, right? Am I fucking wrong?
Yeah, I mean, some of it is so contextual, right? Like, so here's the problem with what folks do, right? They're using like LinkedIn as a diary, as like a public diary.
Like a Facebook. It's the new Facebook now.
Yeah, to talk about what's going on in their life. I'm like,
dude, I'm seeing engagements.
Yeah.
Pregnancy announcements, your kids at a fucking university.
But what military officers will use it for is talk about the transition journey, right? Which is like, I understand the urge to talk about something that's meaningfully going on in your life, but like most people are going to look at that and just kind of be like, ugh. You know, I mean, some people are gonna like it, maybe they'll be inspired by it. I mean,
I think there's a lot of pity likes. I think there's a lot of like, there's a lot of like, oh, I feel bad for him. He's a homie of mine. You know,
what would be far more impactful is if they found something they're interested in, like industry wise or technology wise, and just fucking talked about that all day. Yeah. Because then you would meet people who are also interested in that, and you could develop relationships, and that could lead to employment rather than fucking having an online fucking pity party. You know, so like that's what people should do, right? This is why I don't fucking talk on LinkedIn. It's stupid. It's so right. Like I don't know. Maybe if I was just like an entrepreneur and I had like nobody to really answer to except myself, like that was like my only source of income and I was doing really well, I would say whatever the fuck I would want on that platform. You know, but it's also like, no, I mean, like I can make some jokes, but like you just can't take it too far.
I know.
You know, like Instagram's one thing, but it just sucks. But it's good. It's helpful to have a page that you can then do that through, right? Like you can just say what the fuck you want on the website. We have all these clients we don't want to piss off now. So
no, 100%. So on that though, like what if you had to tell young Rob getting out of the army? I got out of the army in 2017. In Germany, went right into advertising. Kind of knew what I wanted to do. But let's say there's 2026 Rob transitioning out, just some time in artillery. I'm not as advertising creative savvy as I once was or whatever. Maybe I want to go like consulting or investment banking or MBA. Like what? I'm a West Point graduate. What would you recommend I maybe look into now with the future with Claude crushing it, ChatGPT around, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
what do you recommend?
It's a great question. I mean, there's the if you don't want to do the MBA route, which is fine, right? I think you should kind of try and pick like an area or industry you're interested in, and like it probably needs to be like, I'm interested in marketing. Like, no, like pick like an industry. Like say you're interested in like robotics or advertising or tech, right? Or, you know, hardware or something. Like pick something that you think is interesting and you should try to like get immersed in that community. And I think once you've done that, right? Oh, and I mean, and also, yeah, you should be getting very familiar with AI tools. You should be on YouTube figuring out how to build apps, about how to build AI agents, about how these various tools connect and work together, and how you can supercharge your impact as an individual and your productivity. And you need to be pouring a lot of time into that at the same time as you're job hunting. Because like once you kind of start to develop that air sense, right, of that industry, and you have an idea of what roles are, and you have some like very impactful like skills, you know, I think you're going to like walk into a situation where it's going to be easier for people to see you fitting into their organization as you start to like basically be like, oh, you know, I'm looking to do X, Y, and Z, right? That's how I would go about it, because it's all about like people hire who they know. It's so like, but like it's a long warm up act, but it's necessary. Or you just go to fucking the Service Academy Career Conference, just jump into something, you know, random.
Yeah, I mean, some cats just don't know what the fuck to do too.
Well, I feel that's like the military is, you know, the West Point's the military's job is to not make sure you're successful when you get out of the military, right?
Yeah.
I think they can't, like, they should find ways to partner with like outside groups to do that. I think like the transition program.
And how would you see that shaping up? Would that be something like way before SFL TAP or that transition piece happens? Like you could apply for a course, you could pay for a course, you could seek counseling.
I think the Army should hire folks to go. Like the Army should have like a like at every post they should have like a rotating series of like guest lectures from veterans in different industries, and it should be optional to go, right? But they should share like the results of it on their social media pages, and then you should go through a very short like SFL TAP like experience where they like orient you to like not whatever bullshit contractor they hired, but like HBS style best practices for like resumes and like interviewing and all that shit. And then I think they should like give you like, hey, here's like some industry, contacts you could start to like work with, right? Like, you're interested in this, here are these like nonprofit groups that you can go work with. And it should be that sort of pipeline.
And so that should be for officer, enlisted, warrant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it should be for everybody, right? But then, at the end of the day, right, I do think some of it is just like a lot of personal responsibility, and also like the responsibility of veterans out in the workforce to educate their soon-to-be civilians that about what life is like. And, there's a bunch of different ways you can do that. I do it by talking shit through memes on social media.
Yeah.
Other people do it by like volunteering at like 4Block or another like local organization in their community that supports veterans in the workforce. Other people try to do it by having like an ERG or being the head of like or the advocate for it in their company. But like, you should like try to like help folks, because I firmly believe like we should have more veterans in the workforce. I think like it'd be better because those are pathways to like running the country and political power, and like I think we should have more veterans doing that. So there's like a larger community goal as well.
Nice. Yeah, that's a interesting but very important take. I feel like maybe the bigger bases could even get like reps from Fortune 100 or something, right? Like, or even like the Andurils, the Palantirs, some other defense tech energy companies that we know of.
There should be more like, the talent pipeline. I mean, it's just like education both ways, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. At the end of the day, like, I mean, I do think it's more on the veteran community to help veterans than it is on the military, so
I agree.
At the end of the day, the military is like a war fighting organization, and like their job's to win.
It needs to be focused on that.
Yeah. It's not to make you successful in the private sector, right? As much well intended as like it we want it to be. So
how do you view military officers being so pronounced on social?
I mean, I think it's a symptom of like this. It's just a symptom of the times, right? And I also think it's good for people to have self-expression.
In the military, you think?
Yeah, I mean, in the military, in the way that like, I don't think you should be using the military as a platform.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the problem, right? Like if you use it as a platform, like basically like using your service as a way to like your current service as a way to basically like gain a following on social media. I'm like, do you really want to be doing that? Like,
yeah,
it seems very odd, right? That it almost seems like a lagged thing from COVID, right? When like a lot of fucking rules just went out the window, right? And like a lot of like social norms just like suddenly changed and everybody got all like mad about it. And I wonder how long that will last in the future. And my suspicion is it won't last super long. I will say that it's like, I think it's very tough if you've got like a battalion or brigade, commander out there, like just being a fucking social media influencer. I think it probably like looks weird to their, subordinates, and probably their peers. But I don't know, man. It's a different world nowadays. Everybody's got a brand. Like it's almost like
everyone's their own brand. Yeah.
If you can garner your own following on social media while in uniform, like you're gonna be able to translate that really well into something else, right? And it's like, I don't know, like it's like, how do you stop it? Like, or I mean, how do you not stop? It's the wrong word. How do you like? How's it in the best interest of like everybody? And I'm not sure how to do that. I do think there's some like cringe stuff I've seen of just,
we know.
It just gets like too political, or it's like it's too using their things as a platform, right? Or it's like having like social issue takes, right? You just feel like, what the fuck? Like what are you spending your time on? Like, I'm a fucking, like for me, right? Like I don't like do like a lot of like social issue takes, right? Like 2020 to like the whole woke era was also just like really weird in America. Like people were out there saying things on social media that you were like, okay, this is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they look back on it now, they're like, oh yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
You know, like anyway.
X is wild, bro.
Dude, X is the fucking it's the wild, wild west.
I love it though. It's like my daily cigarette, you know? It's like,
dude, that period of time for like mill Twitter and like 2020 to like 2022 is like the wokest people on the planet were running around on mill Twitter, and your eyes just like, what is going on? Like,
dude, that's what I'm fucking talking about, Kyle. It was like all the Biden military appointees with their fucking masked uniform photos. And
Yeah.
it's just like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, I get it, dude. I'm not trying to be political, but like,
there's a lot of virtue signaling
of that. Like,
it's
ew, bro.
It's virtue signaling, dude. Is they were like, oh, we're defenders of the Constitution, and Biden is defending the Constitution after Trump. And
Get your backs. Get your backs.
And it's like finally normalcy has arrived, and people are just going to listen to whatever they're told. And like the whole mask thing is like such like a self virtue thing. Like, I mean, I wore the mask during COVID. Like, I understand like
me too.
Science behind it.
I'll wear it. If you want me to wear it, I'll wear it.
But like when I see somebody just like now like wearing it, I'm like, okay, are you sick, or are you just doing this because like this is like this makes you feel confident or safe in public? And if that's the case, like seek help, right? Like, I mean, I was like,
why are you flying?
Yeah, like why? Like I don't know. I don't want to like I don't like to judge people, but I'm just like, brother.
No, we have to judge people. It's a requirement of the show.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're gonna Barstool. You're gonna be judging some motherfuckers, but like, I just, but like, all the virtue signaling and just it was nauseating, and people just like lose sight of like the fact that America does not like shit like that. Like it flies on the coasts, right? I know people in SF who think they're moderates, and they talk to me, and I was like, dude, you sound like the wokest person I've ever chatted with. And like I'm like, do you listen to your like in your like in SF you probably think I'm a normal moderate person, but like to the rest of the country, or you know, I'm like, you sound like a crazy person, right? And I just people are just like the products of their environment. It's the only way I can say it.
Yeah. All right. So what's ahead for the SitReps brand this year? You guys have scaled so effectively, and it was awesome to see you guys a couple months ago, I think, in Baltimore and everything, and see you guys over the years and see the growth. Like what's next for you guys in 2026, maybe next year, but like any events, anything we can know about?
Yeah, I mean, so our event schedule is definitely like going to be more. We did a lot last year, and we'll do more this year. And so, you know, and we're also kind of. I've been talking with Wyatt and Max, and also my wife who helps out. And also we have Maria, who's our Argentinian virtual assistant. But she's really amazing. And Zach, who helps us with IT, a few other folks. We're going to go to like more military bases. Like we're gonna go by Fort Campbell. We're gonna go to like SF weekend down in Tampa. We're just trying to like prioritize like where the high impact stuff is, and also like where there's just like a ton of vets or soon to be vets, right? And it's usually bases that are kind of near like a large metro.
Yeah.
And then we're just continuing to expand our team and continue to land more clients, and also just doing more with defense tech, right?
Yeah.
So we just like last year, and just like our engagement is like an early recruiter for like some of these really like fast growing defense tech companies, right? I think we've kind of like really set the standard there. And so it's just more of like helping them out, and also helping as other defense tech companies take out grow, be there for them. We're also like doing some exciting stuff with an energy company that's looking to source former Navy nukes for, they're going to like decommission they're going to take these nuclear reactors out of decommissioned naval ships and then like use them to power data centers, right? So there's some like really crazy stuff going on. And I feel like we're almost kind of on like the forefront of like a really exciting change with like defense tech. And we're also looking at planning to do a startup competition probably sometime here in Austin in late, in like September, once everybody's back in school. We've partnered with so many VCs and everything. that, I think it'd be really interesting to see what we could get people, money we could get people, and also just like as a great way to kind of do deal flow for us. If we ever want to like raise a VC fund, because like we are super well connected, just like as I'm sure you are through Dog, we're like we've become like incredibly well connected with a lot of folks who follow the page, and then finally, we'll do Army Navy again. And we are going to be doing this time. We're going to get a suite this year, and we're going to use it for host clients, right? So we already like put down the deposits. That'll be fun. Oh yeah, and we'll also do like webinars and events, and we're doing some. We'll have like some live events with defense tech companies. So it'll definitely be like a steady cadence of stuff now that we finally have like a team that's fully dedicated, and like we can actually run like a semi-professional organization and not just me winging it most of the time.
But that's how all awesome brands start. It starts with a fucking idea.
Yeah.
A little testing, a little pushing, a little reflecting, and then you catch on to something and you just fucking let it go. And you do it scale effectively.
I think it's weird, right? I think like, this is like the only company I've ever like really started, right? So, it's only my observation set, but I would say that like most of the entrepreneurs I've met were like really dedicated to like one specific mission, or like one mission that then became a business, and like they found people who are violently like aligned with that mission as like early employees, in order to like get things going, right? Because obviously they have to be super invested in it because like the business is not like firmed up yet. And yeah, like the whole like 0 to 1 mentality, right? I think you and I were joking before the show started. We're like, yeah, every entrepreneurial podcast sounds the same, right? Because they all say like the same shit. So you got to have like the 0 to 1 mindset. It's all about finding people who are violently aligned and stuff. I mean, it's funny to laugh at, but it's not untrue, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm also glad we've been able to bootstrap it and not take outside money, because I don't want to have to really listen to outside people. I like just listening to me and my business partners.
That's
and my
good.
wife, who has a very large opinion on what goes on. So, it's a blessing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're looking so cozy right now too, and you're
dude. I have like this setup out here. You've got this fireplace in front of me. I've got this, I want to say 75-inch, I think it is, and I got the grill back there.
Nice. Oh, you're outside right now. Okay.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm outside. I'm relaxing. Just
nice.
Watching this crazy Bears Rams game.
So what are you guys doing anything in Vegas this year?
We should.
Let me know. Maybe 2027.
No, we should go do something. I think isn't there the MCOM is going to be back in Vegas right now? The military conference or whatever. Did you go to that last year?
I've been going. We can chat offline.
Yeah, let's talk about it, because I do want to go. Vegas is like, as you know, it's like a super important business conference.
SHOT Show this week, baby. I'll be there for a little bit.
We were talking about going, and then we just didn't do it, but we should. I do want to go to like an international air show though.
You should do CES next year, bro.
Yeah, I should.
You should do that. It's right after the new year, and I feel like we'll catch a Raiders game or something. We'll hang out, but you definitely need to come out to Vegas. I'd say in like H2 of this year. I think
I'm locked in. I'm there. You just.
We'll plan something. I feel like there's something we got to do. MCon is there. Waco's great. The founder.
Yeah, let's do it. And my other business partners are in Utah, so it's like it's not super hard for them to get to Vegas. So,
dude, I love it. All right, Kyle. Anything? You're looking so cozy. Anything you want to say in closing as we wrap up? It's always fun talking to you, my man. What's anything else?
No, just. Nothing else. I'm just like, go to sitreps2steercos.com and like help me fill these roles so we can get, people employed in the defense tech industry and defend America.
Love it. What's the goal for SitReps in, let's say, by 2030?
By 2030?
What do you want to do?
I don't know. Sell it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know, man. It's good. It's cool to have a platform.
That's what I'm talking about, dude.
But like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I would like for it to be, I like with the kind of like forefront of defense tech coming down, right? And like, I think this kind of like reinvention of like an industrial base, because it's going to look radically different than it did in the past, right? I think there's just like a lot of room for SitReps to be connecting like veterans as like a really skilled workforce with like this new era of like defense and industrial base in the country, and like the kind of like crazy mixture of skills it's going to take, and also as a way to help veterans like continue to upskill and fit into that economy. So maybe that's what it'll be by 2030.
Love it, dude. And then maybe there's like an annual DOG sit reps golf tournament you can do in Vegas. I live next to like 5 world-class golf courses here in Vegas.
I'm gonna run that one past Wyatt, see what he thinks, because I'm sure he'd be on board.
I would 100. I can do 2027 for that. It's dude, the Army football season is already so nuts for me.
I can't even imagine what it's like for you. I'm like, this dude is on the road every week.
But I love it, bro. I love it, and it's
you gotta do it.
It's like, dude, I'm so good at it. I grew up at West Point. It's like.
Oh, really? I didn't know
my
that.
thing. Yeah, I lived at West Point as a kid. Oh. My dad's a grad.
Born and bred.
My wife's a grad. My children are gonna go.
We're just like,
dude, we're gonna start. The legacy's already started, so it's gotta keep going.
My daughter wants to go to West Point, and I was gonna send her to this like STEM thing over the summer where she like stayed in the. She's 10.
Okay.
But then they like canceled it. I was like, what the fuck? So I was like, damn it. I was like, that would have been really cool. So
you could have gone up too, right? For a couple days.
She might go to a lacrosse camp instead. She's doing travel lacrosse. So
dude, the coach is a friend. The women's lax coach is a good friend of mine.
All right, I'll let my wife know that.
She's awesome. Shout out to Coach Michelle. She's the best. She's so fucking awesome. And the team is great. Like the team, the team's actually good. So
it's a great sport for them. They do this travel league because here in Texas, the kind of like skill level isn't where it needs to be. They got to go to like meet like actual like they got to go and get a taste of like real competition. Looks like. So
that's good.
It's not like the East Coast. So
there's a bunch of slammers out there.
It's insane.
It's like it's so funny to see like how like American football is like Texas, California, Florida, not New York State by tradition, but then you get really good lacrosse, soccer, tennis, all the sports are all New York, New England. Like it's the East Coast. It's a thing.
It's a beautiful part about the country is we just kind of got these like regional specialties, right?
Yeah.
And it's I don't know. This is what people don't get. They're like, oh, America. Yeah. I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? Like, we've got like
we have our shit, but it's the greatest country in the world. Come on.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Don't read the comments, folks. Don't read all the comments, or don't take them so personal. Have some fun in life, and don't let comments get you upset. Don't let that take over your headspace.
Take a chill pill.
All right, my man. Always a pleasure. Love you what you do. You're the man. Shout out to Kyle Eberly, founder, operator of SitReps. All right, everybody. Peace.
Okay, peace.
All right. Thanks to Kyle for joining us. sitreps2steercos. Catchy name. Now he's got merch, not to no free ads, but he's getting into the merch game as well. And he's doing a lot of professional workshops. He's done one now the last couple of years at Army Navy, I know. So give him a follow, check him out if you're a veteran a military member and you're getting ready to transition. I highly recommend his site. All right. Any caveats, anything we missed?
None for me.
Nope.
All right. And I had one, but I don't know that it's really in the spirit of everything we just talked about in terms of bringing things together. But maybe it is. Maybe it's because it's like, oh, this is kind of just like a little fun ribbing. So Governor Mickey Sherrill is now the new governor of New Jersey.
Is she coming on the show?
No, not to my knowledge. She can on and chat if she wants, but she has an open invite. Maybe it's because like I'm so against Navy, and I'm also like very proud of being from New Jersey. I don't love when people act like they're from Jersey, but they're not from Jersey. I'm overly protective of Jersey in that regard. And I almost feel like she's like trying to cosplay as Jersey because she has lived here and she made a home here, but she's actually, I think, from Virginia. And I just think that speaks to Jersey and how great it is here. That people are dying to claim that they're from here, even when they're not.
I'll tell you what, I already booked my wonderful stay in Jersey for Army Navy in December. So I'm looking forward to being in Jersey in about 10 months, 11 months. Can't do math, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm excited to be in your state, Connor.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, no, but I do want to say, Rob Ryan, I appreciate the conversation. I think it's important to continue to have conversations about these hard topics, but do it in such a way that it can be productive and people can disagree, and you can do it in such a way that it doesn't devolve into violence, name calling, and hateful rhetoric. I think collectively we can, that's people always say, what can I do? I'm just one person. Well, stop posting inflammatory stuff on your own personal social media. That has a reach, far beyond, even if you don't have that many followers, I promise you it has a reach further than you realize.
Especially if you're in the military. I see it. I get sent that shit. Even if you're private, don't do it.
Yeah. Just start there. Be nice. Be nice to each other, people. Please. I beg you. Be nice to each other. All right. Take care. Make it a great week.